She claimed the ring in her bag was for her sister's proposal plan. Then her sister posted a surprise proposal. Different ring. I left it on the table with a note. Save this for your own breakup. I met Samantha in the summer of 2018 at a mutual friend's barbecue in Austin, Texas. She was vibrant, intelligent, and had a contagious laugh. We hit it off immediately, bonding over our shared love for live music and Tex-Mex cuisine. Our relationship blossomed quickly, and by the end of the year, we were inseparable. In early 2020, we decided to move in together. We found a cozy apartment in the South Congress neighborhood, close to our favorite coffee shops and music venues. Life was good. We adopted a rescue dog named Max, a playful golden retriever who became the center of our world. By mid-2021, I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with Samantha. I started saving for an engagement ring, researching jewelers, and planning the perfect proposal. After months of searching, I found a vintage-inspired diamond ring at a boutique jeweler in Dallas. It was elegant and unique, just like Samantha. I planned to propose during our upcoming trip to Napa Valley in February 2022. I hid the ring in the back of my closet, confident that Samantha wouldn't stumble upon it. A week before our trip, I noticed the ring was missing. Panic set in as I searched every corner of our apartment. Unable to find it, I confronted Samantha. I found the ring while cleaning, she said, and I thought it was for me. I didn't want to ruin your plans, so I put it in my bag to keep it safe. Relieved, I thanked her and asked for it back. She hesitated but eventually handed it over. I didn't think much of it at the time. In March 2022, Samantha's sister, Jessica, announced her engagement on social media. The post featured a video of her fiancé proposing with a stunning diamond ring. I was happy for them until I noticed something unsettling. The ring looked identical to the one I had bought for Samantha. Confused, I compared photos and realized they were the same. I confronted Samantha, who claimed, "Jessica loved the ring, and since you hadn't proposed yet, I thought it would be okay to give it to her fiancé." I was speechless. She had taken the ring I bought for her and given it to her sister without telling me. I decided to end the relationship. I packed my things and left a note on the kitchen table. Save this for your own breakup. Beside it, I placed a small box containing a cheap, plastic ring. I moved out and cut off all contact. Friends and family were shocked, but I knew I had made the right decision. In the months that followed, I focused on healing and rebuilding my life. I traveled, reconnected with old friends, and even started dating again. The experience taught me the importance of trust and communication in a relationship. As for Samantha, I heard through mutual friends that she and Jessica had a falling out over the ring incident. Apparently, Jessica was furious when she learned the truth. Their relationship has never been the same. A few weeks after I moved out, Samantha texted me out of the blue. "Can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time before I replied. I didn't owe her anything. But part of me was still angry, and I wanted to see what excuse she'd try to sell me this time. So I agreed to meet her at a small diner halfway between her place and mine. When I got there, she was already sitting in a booth, hands wrapped around a cup of coffee like she was trying to warm herself from the inside. She looked tired. Not the usual done-up version of herself. She looked off. "Thank you for coming," she said without looking up. I stayed silent. She sighed. "Jessica and I aren't speaking anymore. She found out the ring came from you." "How?" I asked. "She overheard me on the phone," Samantha admitted. "I was talking to my mom. She didn't know I was on speaker." I let that sink in. I could imagine the explosion that followed. Jessica had always been a little full of herself, but she didn't play around when it came to loyalty. "She gave the ring back," Samantha said. "Her fiancé is furious. He thought she was in on it." I raised my eyebrows. "Was she?" "No," Samantha said quickly. "I made it look like he bought it. I told him I'd help him find the perfect one. I just slipped it into his hands and said it was all arranged." So she didn't just betray me, she manipulated her own sister and her future brother-in-law too. Why are you telling me this? I asked. She looked at me finally. Because I messed everything up. I didn't even want the ring. I wanted the proposal. I thought if I gave it to her, you'd rush to propose to me out of guilt. That hit like a punch in the gut. You thought giving away the ring I saved for would make me more serious about marrying you? She nodded like it made perfect sense. That's when it hit me. Samantha didn't just have a problem with trust. She had a problem with control. If things weren't happening fast enough for her, she'd push the pieces herself, even if she had to break them. I didn't say much else that day. I left her there in the diner and went home. That night, Jessica messaged me on Instagram. I hadn't spoken to her directly since all of this went down. She started off with a simple, "Hey, I need to ask you something." I replied. She said she'd drop by the next day. When she showed up, she wasn't wearing a ring. Her eyes were red like she'd been crying. She looked embarrassed, but determined. "I owe you an apology," she said. "I had no idea she did that to you. Or to me." I shrugged. "It's not your fault." "No, but I still feel stupid," she said. "I should have seen something was off." She sat down across from me, and we talked for hours. She told me more than I expected, how Samantha had always been the planner, the one pulling strings in the background. Even in high school, she said, Samantha would fake being sick to get out of events she didn't control. If she wasn't the center of it, she didn't want it happening. I started to see a bigger picture, one that went beyond the ring. A week after that, Jessica texted again. "You should see this," she wrote, and sent a screenshot from Facebook. It was a post from Samantha's private account. Apparently, she didn't think I'd ever see it. It read, "It's funny how people pretend to be victims when they're the ones who made you crazy. He left me over a ring." A ring. You think that's about love? I stared at that post for a while. Then I saw the comments. One of her friends wrote, "Didn't you steal that ring from him and give it to your sister?" Another wrote, "Maybe you should stop dating people if you treat their feelings like props." There were over 100 comments. It had spiraled. Turns out someone else had shared the post in a relationship drama group. It went semi-viral. People were piecing things together, screenshots were being passed around. She tried deleting it, but the internet never forgets. Jessica told me Samantha was furious. She blamed me for the fallout, said I must have shared the story. But I hadn't. I'd kept it private. Someone else, maybe one of her friends, or maybe even her mom, had spilled the tea. That's when things got weird. First, Samantha's mom called me. She apologized. She cried. She said she always knew something was off with Samantha but didn't know how to fix it. She begged me not to let it poison how I saw her family. Then I started getting weird texts from unknown numbers. Stuff like, "You destroyed her life for a ring? She's the one hurting now. If you ever cared about her, you'd try to help." I blocked every number. 2 days later, someone egged my car. That's when I installed security cameras. Not long after, Jessica messaged me again. "You're not going to like this." She sent a photo of a Craigslist post. My name. My phone number. A made-up sob story about how I was looking for companionship after a heartbreak. I filed a police report. A week passed. Then another. Things went quiet. But it wasn't over. Not even close. A few weeks later, I got a phone call from my boss. He sounded weird. "Hey, is everything okay at home?" I asked why. He said someone had emailed HR claiming I was under investigation for domestic abuse. They attached a blurry photo of a guy that looked kind of like me, screaming at a woman in a parking lot. It wasn't me. The photo was grainy, taken from far away, but it looked close enough to cast doubt. The email had no name. Just a burner address. I spent 2 hours in a meeting with HR clearing things up. They were understanding, but the seed had been planted. I could feel it in the way people looked at me afterward. Like they didn't know what to believe. I started going back through my messages, social media, anything that could have hinted Samantha was planning something like this. Nothing. She had gone dark, but clearly, she wasn't finished. A few nights later, I was walking Max in the park near my place. It was late, past 10 p.m., not many people around. As I turned the corner by the pond, a figure stepped out from behind a tree. It was Samantha. She looked thinner, wild-eyed, like she hadn't slept in days. "I just want to talk," she said. Max growled. He never did that before. I didn't say anything. I just turned and walked the other way. She followed me. "Please," she kept saying. "Please just talk to me. Everything's falling apart. Jessica hates me. My mom doesn't return my calls. People online are calling me a monster." I stopped and turned. "You are a monster." She started crying. Not dramatic sobbing. Quiet, gasping cries. Like she couldn't catch her breath. "I didn't know what to do," she said. I panicked. I thought if I gave her the ring, maybe things would slow down. Maybe you'd finally see me. "You were slipping away." I shook my head. "You made me slip away." She stepped closer. I stepped back. "You need help," I told her. "Real help." She nodded like she understood, but then she said something that stuck with me. "If I can have you," she whispered, "I'll make sure no one wants you." That was it. I turned and walked straight home, called the police, and reported the encounter. They couldn't do much. She hadn't technically done anything, yet. A few days after that, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a printed photo of me sitting in my living room. It was taken from outside the window. At night. There was no message. Just the photo. I started sleeping with a bat by the bed. Installed more cameras. Moved all my personal files and documents into a locked box. Then, out of nowhere, the harassment stopped. No texts. No emails. No creepy photos. I thought maybe she had finally hit bottom. Maybe someone convinced her to get help. Then, 2 months later, I got a call from Jessica. She sounded shaken. "I got a letter," she said. "Like a real letter." "What kind?" "She's gone," Jessica said. "She moved. No one knows where. But the letter said she's starting over, and she forgives us for what we did to her." It wasn't signed. But Jessica knew. And I knew. We both tried not to look over our shoulders after that, but it was hard. I started dating again, slowly. Met someone through friends. Her name's Talia. Kind, patient, no games. I didn't tell her everything at first. I just told her my last relationship ended badly. That was enough. Then one morning, we were having brunch, and Talia's phone buzzed. She frowned. "What is it?" I asked. She turned the screen to show me. A text from an unknown number. "Ask him about the ring." I took her phone, stared at the message. My stomach dropped. Samantha had found a way back in. Talia was calm. She asked what the message meant, and I told her everything. All of it. From the ring to the diner to the photo outside my window. She didn't blink. She just nodded and said, "We'll handle it." But I could tell it made her uneasy. I dragged something heavy into her life. The messages kept coming. Not daily, but often enough to stay under our skin. Always from different numbers. Always with just enough detail to prove it was her. She told Talia I was cheating. She told Talia I had lied about my past. She even sent Talia a fake email from a girl claiming to be pregnant with my child. But Talia wasn't stupid. She knew when she was being manipulated. We kept collecting everything: texts, emails, screenshots. We filed another police report. They started a case for harassment. But without knowing where Samantha was, it didn't go far. Then one day, out of nowhere, Jessica called again. "Check your email," she said. There was a link. A Facebook account under a fake name. Dozens of posts. Samantha had made a whole new identity. She was pretending to be an abuse survivor. And she was telling the world that I was her abuser. She had written entire stories, vivid graphic lies. She used bits of our real relationship to make them sound legit. People believed her. They shared her posts. They cried with her in the comments. Some of my coworkers saw the posts. Some of my friends. I even got a call from my dad, asking if there was any truth to it. I almost broke. That's when Talia said something that changed everything. She wants attention. Let's give it to her. But our way. Jessica helped. She gave us old emails, voicemails, screenshots of Samantha bragging about how easy it was to twist people. We put together everything, every threat, every message, every trace she left behind. Then we made our own page. With receipts. We didn't attack her directly. We didn't say her name. We just posted the truth. Step by step. Clean. Calm. With dates, timelines, screenshots. People started to notice. Then someone from the support group Samantha was running found the page. They put 2 and 2 together. That's when it all crumbled. A few of her followers messaged us. They were angry. Betrayed. One of them was a lawyer. She contacted us and said she'd been duped into donating money to Samantha's healing retreat, a fake retreat Samantha had used to scam people. It went viral again. But this time, not the way Samantha wanted. She tried to take the fake account down, but too many people had screenshots. It was everywhere. Reddit threads. TikTok reactions. People breaking down the lies. Her old high school friends chimed in with their stories. Even an ex from before me commented about how she tried to fake a pregnancy to trap him. Then someone found her. She was living under a different name in a small town in Arizona, working at a yoga studio. The studio fired her the day they got wind of it. She posted one final rant, accusing the world of turning against her. Then she deleted everything. I thought that was the end. But it wasn't. About a month later, I got a package in the mail. No return address. Inside was the original engagement ring. The one I bought for her. And a note. This is all I have left. You win. Talia wanted to throw it away. I told her no. I kept it. Not because I wanted it back. But because it reminded me of everything I learned. Not just about Samantha. About myself too. I was naive. I ignored red flags. I excused things because I was in love. I thought being patient would fix people. But some people aren't broken, they just enjoy the mess. I made my mistakes. I let it go on too long. I stayed quiet too long. I tried to leave gently when I should have ended it harder. But in the end, she lit the fire. And she burned in it.